Welcome back to using figurative language in your writing. I want to remind you as we go through these that we're practicing all the different ways of using figurative language. In a typical story, you're not going to smush all this figurative language into just one paragraph. You're going to spread it out and use it intentionally. But today we're going to continue practicing what would it look like to go through a piece of writing and find ways to add new types of figurative language. So today we are going to talk about personification. And as you watched from the video earlier, personification is when you give people characteristics to things that are not people. So I'm going to write people or person. So when I give, let's say if I'm talking about my computer, when I say something like, my computer is misbehaving today, it's a computer. It can't misbehave. I'm using personification to show that it feels like it's a person who's misbehaving. Or sometimes if we say things like, oh, my car is acting up. Cars can't act up, but sometimes it feels like it. Or you might say, oh man, the door hit my toe. The door can't do that, it's a door. But sometimes it feels like it did it on purpose. So when we give people characteristics to things that are not people, we're using personification. And it makes our writing a lot more interesting. All right, so here are our 3 steps for adding personification to your own writing. Just like the other ones, our first job is to find a spot in your writing, right? You've got to find the spot where it goes. Find a spot where you could make something seem alive or make it seem like it's behaving like a person. I'm going to underline that better. There we go. Where could you find a spot to do that? A great time for that is when something's happening or you're describing the scenery. Then you're going to think about what you're trying to show the reader. Don't just pick a random thing. Like when I was talking about my computer earlier, I didn't say, my computer is dancing. Like that's random. I want to pick something that shows what I'm trying to express. So if I'm having computer problems, I might say, my computer is being awful rude right now, right? I'm mad because of my computer. So I'm going to describe it in a way that shows that it's doing something unacceptable. So think about what you're trying to show your reader. Do you want to show them something happy, right? Then I might use that dancing kind of idea. I might say, oh, the flowers outside are dancing on their stems. I want to show something happy. Maybe you want to show something dangerous, right? Maybe you want to say the door called eerily as it swung open. You can almost hear that sound as the door opens. I'm implying dangerous things are about to happen. Maybe I want to show something is exciting. Maybe I'm going to say the raindrops danced on the windshield as we headed to the movie theater. I'm excited. I'm going to go see the new movie. Or maybe you want to explain something calm. You might have calm things. You might say, the music wrapped around my ears and soothed me. Music can't actually do that. But when I say it that way, it feels very calming. So think about, what do you want to show? What kind of emotion are you trying to convey? And then just like the other ones, go back, add it to your writing. So let me show you a couple examples with those paragraphs that I've been working on all week so you can see what this looks like in a real piece of writing. All right, I went back and added that onomatopoeia that I showed you yesterday. So let me start, just like we do every time, by rereading. The key to revision is that you have to be willing to reread your writing over and over until you start to find the spots you don't like. If you just reread it once and go, yep, it's amazing, I'm done, you're never going to make that big progress you're looking for. You're not willing to put in the time. So slow down, tell yourself, I'm going to reread my writing over and over. I'm going to find those spots where I can make it better. All right, here I go. Thomas and Kaleem opened the door to the gym like the door to a secret room. The rec manager must have forgotten to lock up, and they now had the room all to themselves. They walked in, and Kaleem pulled a basketball off the cart. Thomas tossed his jacket off to the side and tightened the laces on his shoes. Thunk. Kaleem bounced the ball to Thomas. Thunk. Thomas checked it back to Kaleem. Game on. All right. The first time I read this, I thought, ooh, maybe I could use some personification about the room. Maybe the room is going to welcome them, or the room is going to whisper to kind of set up the idea that they're in this like kind of the space they're maybe not supposed to be, but something exciting is about to happen. But just now, when I read it again, and you got to remember, I've probably read this same paragraph like 10 times now. I read it again and I thought about this part where Kaleem gets the basketball. And I thought, ooh, what if the basketball called to him? The basketball whispered his name and he picked it up off the cart. You can get the idea. I want to show how much he's just excited to play basketball. Maybe in my story, he lives somewhere where there's no basketball courts and he wishes he could play. And then he finds that the rec center is open. All right, how can I work that into a sentence? I want to show that the ball is just, he's excited. I want to build excitement. They walked in and they walked in and Kaleem, ooh, how about this? They walked in and Kaleem spotted a cart. Kaleem spotted the ball cart. Ooh, maybe I can even give more detail. A brand new basketball called to him. A brand new, I'm going to write B-ball, you know what I mean, called to him. All right, let me think about how that sounds again. Now that I've added that, I'm going to reread it. Thomas and Kaleem opened the door to the gym like the door to a secret room. The rec manager must have forgotten to lock up, and they now had the room all to themselves. They walked in and Kaleem spotted the ball cart. A brand new basketball called to him. Thomas tossed his jacket off to the side. Oh, I forgot to say he took it off the cart. A brand new ball called to him, and he picked it up. Makes a difference. There we go. The rec manager must have forgotten to lock up, and they now had the room all to themselves. They walked in, and Kaleem spotted the ball cart. A brand new basketball called to him, and he picked it up. Thomas tossed his jacket off to the side and tightened the laces on his shoes. Yeah, that's what I want. All right, my personification is the basketball calling to him. That fits what I'm trying to show the reader. Now I'm going to take a look at this one about Karina and the dragon. I feel like I could give the dragon human characteristics to make him seem more intense or maybe more intelligent, like he might be more threatening because he's smart enough to be a real adversary for her. So I'm going to be on the lookout for spots where I can make the dragon do human stuff to make my story scarier. Schlup. Karina dragged her bare feet through the wet grass. It was late and she was tired, but she still didn't know which direction to go. She was glad that she had escaped the dragon, but now she had a new worry. What if she never made it home? What if the dragon had carried her so far that she never found home again? Suddenly, she heard the screech of the dragon closing in on her. She went into a large bush and hid. She was a shaking fly in a spider's web. She hid her face in her hands to keep from crying. Ooh, I know. I'm going to add what's happening next. I'm going to have the dragon circle above and um, and taunt her with his screeches, daring her to come out. That's not something an animal could really do, dare you to do things, but it does make it seem scarier. The dragon circled above, daring her to come out. Come out. Suddenly she heard the screech of the dragon closing in on her. She went into a large bush and hid. She was a shaking fly in a spider's web. She hid her face in her hands to keep from crying. The dragon circled above, daring her to come out. All right, so this is the strategy I'm going to encourage you to use on the next couple slides. You're going to take a kind of a boring group of sentences, and I'm going to ask you to go in and figure out what personification could you add so that it feels more interesting. Maybe you're going to try to make something more sad. Maybe you're going to make something scarier. Think about what you would like to make happen in that story so that you're ready to apply personification to your own writing. See you next time.